Conspiracy theories are out there, and they ain't coming from the right. What's the conspiracy, and who said it? It certainly wasn't Orange Man Bad, but he did have some words of wisdom from yesteryear. Let me explain. Good day to all of you breathing in air today, and to those with a heartbeat. Someone on the left, a la Stacy Abrams, may disagree that you have a heartbeat. That is, if you are still in the womb and not even considered a baby yet, because to her, you should be murdered all the way up to going through that birth canal.
There is no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. It is a manufactured sound designed to convince people that men have the right to take control of a woman's body away from her.
There's no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks, according to Stacy Abrams, the true governor of Georgia. You know, the one who refuses to concede the Georgia election from 2018.
This is not a speech of concession, because concession means to acknowledge an action is right, true, or proper. As a woman of conscience and faith, I cannot concede that.
4 years later, she stands by that, just as she stands by the quite conspiratorial assertion that a baby's heartbeat is a manufactured sound by men. Evil men who are controlling women's bodies. The same type of men who gave women the right to vote, which is exactly the same thing, according to the poster girl for the Catholic Church, the most Catholic grandma out there, Nancy Pelosi.
And didn't he also be part of a movement to repeal the 19th Amendment for women to have the right to vote? What do I think of that? I think I hear something like that every day around here. When people say that women shouldn't be able to make their choices about contraception or their own reproductive health, that's a sign of disrespect for women. What he's saying is outrageous. I don't think many members of here would subscribe to that. But the insult to women's intelligence is one that exists in many forms around here.
Disrespect to us women, Nancy says, to not be able to kill babies when we choose. Just disrespect.
I mean, that's destroying my life. No respect. I don't get no respect at all. Are you kidding? No respect at all. Well, when I was born, the doctor told my mother I did all I could, but he pulled through anyway, you know?
And that's exactly what Nancy and Stacy think. Darn, if not intervened with, that little embryo really is a baby with a big ol' heartbeat. But their argument is all in the name of science. Democrats are the party of science, after all, and those anything right of far left is just a science denier. And that brings us to... Where in the world is Kamala Lama Ding Dong? Ding Dong got in on the action of villainizing those who value life, that being the crisis pregnancy centers. You know the ones, they want to give you all the options and support and, when a woman actually becomes pregnant. And while praising her audience, a bunch of lawyers, the Democratic state's attorneys general, she had a lot to say to her people.
I met with many of you in my office at the White House, and we discussed the innovative strategies that you have used to defend women's reproductive freedom. You are taking on, rightly, the crisis pregnancy centers, launching public education campaigns, because I don't think I have it here, but I'll show you all a map of the United States right now in terms of the patchwork of different laws in different states on this issue and the confusion it is creating, and the need then for some of the most trusted elected officials to clarify the state of the law. And in the midst of the vast amount of confusion, the need of you as the truth tellers to sort out fiction from fact and combat misinformation and disinformation, which we all know often creates a situation that is ripe for predatory practices.
Oh, those hands to show the one world order. Not individual or states' rights. No. This'll lead us into the question of the day. Which candidate across the nation is going to get slaughtered? Not like what Stacy and Kamala want to do to babies, but metaphorically speaking, in the midterm election. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and please share this video so science and sanity prevail. Now, Stacy Abrams is but one little example, and the following will be examples of just how heartless the Democrats are at this point. It's just another example of how desperate the Democrats are becoming as the time's a-ticking away on their chokehold on control of Congress. We're under 6 weeks until the midterms, so that is still an eternity of political ads interrupting my shows. But at the moment, the Democrats' confidence in their party is waning. The newest ABC News Washington Post poll is not that great for the Democrats. In the vote preference for the midterms, the Republicans are edging the Dems among registered voters 47 to 46, but even more 51 to 46 among the likely voters. And since midterm elections are often a referendum on the party in control of the White House, polling on Joe Biden is not good. His job approval is at just 39% with a 53% disapproval. And 56% of Democrats want someone, anyone, other than Joe Biden to be the nominee. Now that's just sad. Even Nancy has trouble faking her confidence, which says something since she's the queen of fake.
President Joe Biden had an interview on 60 Minutes where he didn't commit to running for re-election, and I'm wondering if you think he should run in 2024 or if you think the party should put someone else forward who might be better.
President Biden is the president of the United States. He did a great service to our country. He defeated Donald Trump. Let's not forget that. If you care about the air we breathe, the water we drink, the education of our children, jobs for their families, pensions for their seniors, any subject you can name. I'm not going into politics about whether the president should run or not.
Thank you for that report, Nancy. We all can agree that she shouldn't run, physically or as a representative, but she's still out there trying to be hip without breaking one, and maybe after the most recent outing at New York City's Global Citizen Music Festival, she'll rethink her life's choices.
Of the House, I'm here to thank you for
Nancy Pelosi. Why is everybody booing?
Nancy and her pantsuit are so out of touch with reality, as evidence. That's why she said that Joe Biden has been doing a good job on the economy. Most of us disagree. Let's look back at the polls. Well then, people continue to feel less confident in Biden's ability to spur the economy, as 24% approve of how he's handling the economy, and 74%, or basically every 3 of 4 people, say our economy is not good. What do you mean? Gas prices are... Oh, wait.
I am President of the United States of America, and the buck stops with me.
For all that Biden has been boasting about with his boasting of how he lowered the gas prices...
Mr. President, the price of gasoline is down about 26% from the $5 high. What can you do to keep that price down while Vladimir Putin is throttling energy supplies?
There's a couple things we've done. For example, remember I got some criticism for releasing 1 million barrels of oil a day from a strategic petroleum reserve. And then along came the industry saying they'd produce another 1 million barrels a day by the spring. So I think we're in relatively good shape.
Don't worry. That changed quickly. Those gas prices are creeping back up again. From just a week ago, the number has jumped 8 cents. In my neck of the woods, it jumped 55 cents overnight, but that one was supposedly because of a refinery fire in Ohio. Ruh-roh. And now it's hurricane season in the South, so oil and gasoline prices may be even more volatile. But we have to think globally, like the global overlords want us to. And so we ask, what is happening on the global front with gasoline? Well, there may have been some sabotage going on, and as is always, it's Russia's fault. European nations are investigating such possible sabotage. You see, there are 2 pipelines running from Germany to Russia, Nord Stream 1 and 2, and there were leaks found in them under the Baltic Sea after what seems to be 2 large undersea explosions, according to the New York Times. What were those pipelines called again?
That they're using energy, they're weaponizing energy, and it's choosing to one of the things that has been out there, to shut down the pipeline of Nord Stream 1. So the sanctions we've imposed, we believe, do stand in the way of the pipeline to continuing operating.
Thanks to ineptness, it's becoming cheaper to shop the clothing carried in the Nordstrom store than it is to put gas in your tank from the Nord Stream. Details. And those same details were overlooked or just critiqued when Orange Man Bad said them back in the good old days. The danger of European countries relying on Russia for all of its oil was evident to anyone who actually used their prefrontal cortex.
But Germany is totally controlled by Russia.
President Trump confirmed Europe's worst pre-summit fears by using the NATO stage to criticize allies, blasting Germany over a natural gas pipeline deal with Russia.
It's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia.
That was 4 years ago. But since Orange Man Bad said it, and we don't like mean tweets, here we are. We're all doing so well right now.
You just ticked off this list here, but the poll actually shows that the president is deeply underwater when it comes to the economy. Is there anything the White House plans to do differently? Do you need to do the midterms are in 44 days? Does there need to be a course
Again, I can't talk about the midterms. No. I'm about to answer your question. Give me a second here. Again, I have to say this, right? I cannot talk about the midterms from here because you did mention the midterms. What I can say is, and we talked about this in our August memo, we are going to go out there, not just the president, the vice president, the cabinet secretaries, you have congressional members in their district as well, and we're going to talk about how we have delivered for the American people.
She's just so bad at this. And her predecessor even knows it. Now that the other orange politician, this time being Peppermint Patty, Jen Psaki, is back in the game, doing the same thing she had always been doing, but now with even more fervor for the butt-kissing component with the media, since she is the media full-fledged. Anyway, she has already, in her first snap, crackle, and pop on the job, basically said the Dems are escrudo.
Yeah, look, I think that Democrats, if the election is about who is the most extreme, as we saw, Kevin McCarthy touch on there with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'll say her name, sitting over his left side, then they're going to win. If it is a referendum on the president, they will lose, and they know that. They also know that crime is a huge vulnerability for Democrats. I would say one of the biggest vulnerabilities.
What? Crime is an issue? You don't say. Well, as I said earlier, we have about 6 weeks-ish for more of all of this. So we'll put a lid on it for now. But don't put a lid on your F's, faith, family, and friends. Keep giving those freely and maybe even share this video while you're at it. Until next time, stay healthy, America.